They have selected, we've got Wallabear, Dota, and Absturge for playing for Splyce. They're going to be playing that Feral Lock Shaman. An interesting choice here from Tree. They're going to be going with Feral Mage Holy Paladin. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out for them here as the gates have now opened and we are into our first match of the day here on the Grand Arena.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how Tree decides to open up. I believe Wallabear will be playing pretty passive. He wants to open up onto I Love My Catexo and sort of shut down his opener. So he's moving in on the prowl, gets the stun on him, and shuts down Mageddon's. I think he actually interrupted his polymorph there, so well done by Wallabear defusing the opener of Tree.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job. Wallabear, though, caught into that full Fist of Justice. Absturge into the Sheep. Is Wallabear going to survive through this? Is Absturge going to have to use a cooldown? Wallabear trinkets. Surprisingly, Wallabear's still alive, having used only one survival instincts. Absturge just getting chain CC'd right now, just not able to get those casts off. He really needs to get something off. Wallabear's so low. Absturge just playing with fire there, able to get off that Spirit Link at the last second, and most importantly, was able to do it without using his trinket. So he still has the trinket link available, and that's going to be Splyce's cue to come in here and start getting aggressive themselves. They've got that full bash onto Feloria. They're just pumping damage into him for the moment, just trying to stay as aggressive as possible. Mageddon also under a little bit of pressure. A nice Cyclone went out onto I Love My Cat there a second ago, just making sure that he's not able to peel for his team. And now it looks like Feloria might be in trouble. He's going to have to go ahead and use that Avenging Wrath, use that Execution Sentence to give him a big heal, but still so much damage coming out from Splyce right now.
Yeah, spamming out those heals over and over and over. It's hard to deal with the pressure coming out from Splyce. Dota using his second Demon Soul. This is the Incarnation and Berserk coming out from Wallabear as well. Once Feloria's Avenging Wrath fades and his healing is significantly worse, it's going to be a nightmare for him to deal with this pressure. It's going to be up to I Love My Catexo and Mageddon to sort of shut down Dota, make sure they're decursing his 10-stack Agonies to sort of reduce that damage and allow Feloria to actually get some healing out. Absturge caught in the full Hodjo, Trinket Link immediately. Wallabear dipping low. He still has a charge of Survival Instinct, so well done by Splyce, not overlapping those defensive cooldowns. But now Wallabear wants to get aggressive onto Feloria, who's hovering around 50% HP. He still has his bubble, he still has his Trinket, but he doesn't have healing. It's going to be hard for him to get out those heals. He's playing with fire, spamming out those flash of lights. He does not want to get interrupted. Finally getting away. Mageddon and I Love My Catexo doing a great job of peeling, but Dota porting immediately onto Feloria. The Hex coming out onto him as well. Splyce just making Feloria, yeah, such a hard time for him to actually get out those heals. Finally the bubble coming out from Feloria. Now he's basically waiting for his Avenging Wrath to come up in around 26 seconds.
Yeah, getting that bubble out from Feloria is huge for Splyce. It means that he will not have that cooldown available for quite some time, and they've been wanting to go onto Feloria basically this whole time. He will still have 2 Blessing of Protections available, which will slow down Wallabear, but Dota can still DPS through that. So as long as Splyce can stay aggressive, this could be good news for them. That said, Absturge is running on fumes in terms of cooldowns right now. He's going to have a Spirit Link available in just over a minute, but that's about it. His Trinket will be available around then as well. Wallabear caught into that full Cyclone. That's the only thing really saving Feloria
getting
right
so
now.
low, down to 10% HP, actually throwing that bop on him into the DR Bash. The bop gets purged off immediately by Absturge. Well done by him. And Feloria just ran out of defensive cooldowns, tried to get that bop out, but it came off immediately by Absturge. They just had so many interrupts and so much pressure onto Feloria. It's just so hard for him to deal with that incoming pressure as a Holy Paladin.
And you can see it in the numbers there, 4.8 million damage. And that's just so tough to deal with, just constant pressure coming out from Dota in that match. So again, well played by Splyce. So moving forward from here, if you're Tree in this situation, what do you do? What map do you want to go to? What composition do you want to play? Because we're actually not super familiar with the compositions that they have available to them, but what map do you think they would go to?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, something like Blade's Edge, obviously, I don't think is going to be that great. It's going to give Dota sort of a free reign to do whatever he wants. He's not going to become a target even more, and I think whatever they do in the future, they might have to actually switch and go on Dota. Like you said, he was just doing so much damage, but which one of these maps makes it easy for him or them to attack Dota? Maybe something like Tiger's Peak, Tolvaron Arena.
Yeah.
Feloria needs to be able to get away. He can't onslaught of Splyce. If Feloria is just playing on the same pillar, having to deal with all of those interrupts, I can't see him healing through this damage.
It's definitely an awful lot to actually deal with, especially as a Holy Paladin. So we'll have to see if they're able to keep Dota locked down a little bit better here on Tolvaron Arena. The gates have now opened. We immediately see Dota doing pretty much as expected, dropping down his Demonic Circle as well as his Demonic Gateway. It almost reaches from pillar to pillar on Tolvaron since the change in Warlords, which reduced its range. Who Wallabear and I Love My Cat on top of each other. I Love My Cat actually caught Wallabear out of stealth, so Wallabear is going to back off a bit, try to get a re-stealth here. He's not quite going to be able to do it. I Love My Cat now moving in. Majidin caught into a real short fear, actually trinketed that right away. Absurge now into the full polymorph. Dota, though, is able to pop his Dark Soul and start pumping out that damage. Wallabear took a little bit of damage there, went ahead and used one of his Survival Instincts charges, and so far they really haven't been able to put too much else in terms of pressure into him. In fact, Valoria in trouble already, getting super low. His Saved by the Light's going to proc, as well as he's going to have to use his Avenging Wrath and his Execution Sentence, and Splyce is turning this around just right away onto Tree.
Yeah, that was a nightmare for Valoria. Dota actually locked him out, and right out of the lockout, Wallabear went over, stunned him, and got that pressure, and that's how they got so many of those defensive cooldowns out. Valoria's Wings is going to be expiring in around 10 seconds. Dota still has his Dark Soul. Wallabear still has Incarnation and Berserk. I don't know how Valoria is going to heal through this damage. He's going to have to do a good job with his bops, as well as probably throwing out that bubble, or he's just going to fall way too behind. Wallabear actually getting hodged up there, taking a lot of damage, down to 20% HP. The DR Bash coming in, gets the Survival Instincts off. Absurge still has Trinket Link available if he needs it, but it doesn't look like he's going to be using. He drops the Spear Link on the incoming Polymorph, so well done getting that pre-link off. The actual Cyclone coming out from I Love My Cat as well onto Absurge. Valoria having to use his bubble in that exchange, so pretty much all defensive cooldowns have been exhausted from Wallabear. Of course, Absurge still has a Trinket, he still has a Link to deal with the next swap coming out from Tree, but Valoria has no more healing. He does have a Trinket, but it's not going to do too much. He needs to get cast off. Execution Sentence as well as Wings are going to be coming up in around 24 seconds to him, but he has to hold on a little bit longer. Wallabear, though, getting swapped to, taking 20, or going down to around 20% HP. Absurge using his Trinket as well as his Link, and now Splyce has no more defensive cooldowns. Valoria running away, needs to top off his team. Yeah, Valoria is still under a lot of pressure right now. He's actually hiding out of line of sight right now, just trying to make sure his team can stay aggressive. He actually used his Blessing of Protection on I Love My Cat there a second ago, just to allow I Love My Cat to back off, and we can see right now, I Love My Cat, he still has his Incarnation active, but it's just going to waste at this point. Valoria, though, getting a nice big drink right there. If they're able to keep this game going, that could end up being a huge deal later on, as he had to spend a ton of mana in those early couple of exchanges. But now Splyce, I feel like Tree actually may have a little bit of a kill window right here. Absurge has no Trinket available for a minute. He has no Spirit Link or Ascendance available for 2 minutes. If Tree is able to move in and put out a whole bunch of pressure onto Wallabear again, Wallabear doesn't even have Survival Instincts available for another 45 seconds. They might have an opportunity here to go in, and then we'll see if they're able to pull it off. The Deep Freeze into the Polymorph lands onto Absurge. That full Fist of Justice onto Wallabear. Absurge has no way to get out of the CC. Wallabear into that bash, has nothing available. Wallabear just trying to kite as best he can right now, actually dashing over to Majidin just so he can get out of line of sight and reconnect with his healer. Absurge manages to land a couple of heals, a huge healing surge onto Wallabear, and immediately Wallabear's going to turn that back around onto Majidin, recognizes that they've survived through the initial push, and now they have the opportunity to start putting some counter pressure on. Majidin getting a little bit low here. Nice Cyclone is actually going to prevent him from getting healed up. He's going to be stuck on low health. Do they have follow-up CC onto Valoria? Doesn't look like anything just yet. There's the Cyclone. Majidin in trouble here. He tries to get a Polymorph out, does not actually land that Polymorph, and so now he's going to get a nice big heal there with the Avenging Wrath Execution Sentence coming out from Valoria, but that's a big cooldown for Valoria that he's not going to have available for the next push. Yeah, Wallabear does have that Incarnation Berserk coming up. Of course, Dota has Dark Soul as well. Valoria not going to have his Wings lined up for that. Something to note, too, is Majidin is actually using that Evanesce talent. He has no Blazing Speed, and he has no Ice Block because of that. It gives him those guaranteed consistent polymorphs onto Absurge, as he is immune to everything in Evanesce, but he is losing major defensive cooldown, so definitely could be a target. Wallabear getting hodged up once again. The same setup we've seen coming out of Tree. The Deep Freeze polymorph onto Absurge. Wallabear getting hodged up, but he's doing a good job kiting, deflecting the incoming CC. Dota just spamming out those fears over and over and over. Absurge caught into the Frostro right now, but Wallabear is going to be completely fine, and this could spell big trouble for Tree. Valoria has no bubble, he has no Wings, he has no Execution Sentence, he has nothing available for this incoming pressure. Dota's going to have that Dark Soul coming up right now, and I can expect him to pop it as soon as it comes up. He has landed that Haunt. Bop coming out onto Valoria. Can Absurge purge it off? He's pushing in. He wants to interrupt him, wants to get off that Bop, but unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to dispel it, and Valoria is going to be able to get some casts off because of it. Yeah, there's the Dark Soul now coming out from Dota, though. Majidin in some trouble here. He will have his Cold Snap available in just a second. He's going to... Oh, excuse me. Actually, I thought he popped it, but he did not. He's hanging on to that Cold Snap for the heal, I would imagine. Majidin just trying to
put out as much pressure as possible. Gets caught into a fear. The Save by the Light is going to proc and keep him safe for now, as it looks like Splyce is now just trying to find a better target to connect to. Maybe deciding that Majidin wasn't the right choice. Never mind. As soon as I said that, Wallabear dives in. Now they're pulling back behind this pillar over here, just trying to keep themselves on the defensive right now. Maybe actually pull Wallabear out a little bit too far. Absurge actually forced to run in behind him just to keep him aggressive and keep him healed up. Maybe a little bit dangerous, but that said, Absurge does have his Trinket, Spirit Link, and a Ascendance available, so he should be fine. Feloria is still taking tons of damage, does not have his bubble available for another minute, so he could be in some trouble here. Popping his Avenging Wrath, just trying to keep out as much healing as possible, and basically just trying to kite around this pillar as best he can, trying to stay away from Wallabear. But Wallabear is just on the warpath, just moving in on him over and over and over again. And so now Tree, they're going to have to retreat to a completely different pillar.
Yeah, Splyce just playing ultra defensive there. I love my Cat XO actually used his Incarnation Berserk and really didn't force any defensive cooldowns whatsoever. The entire team of Splyce is sitting at 100% HP, and I really think that's just because Wallabear did such a good job running around that pillar, like you were saying, just avoiding combat at all costs. Feloria pulling away, which I like. I like that. He needs to get away from Splyce. He doesn't want to get dotted up. He needs to drink as well. It's a big consideration going on in this game.
Yeah, he's back to full mana.
Yeah, getting to full mana. Really smart decision. Dampening has kicked in. It's around 9% right now. It's just going to get higher and higher and higher. And for that Holy Pally to heal through the spread pressure of Splyce, it's going to be very mana inefficient for him. So he needs to make sure going forward he gets that full drink off, which he did. I think that's a very smart decision.
Yeah, definitely. Even though he now has a mana advantage, he's going to need that as a Holy Paladin to keep up with the Resto Shaman, just because of the Restoration Shaman's mastery. Just so effective in deep dampening. But now we're seeing them start to push in here a little bit. Dota taking a little bit of pressure. Wallabear caught into that full Fist of Justice, and Absurge getting that chain CC going onto him as well. Looks like they're going to swap it over onto Wallabear. He's caught into a bash, getting kind of low here, but looks like he should be fine. He did use his last Survival Instincts charge there, but he's just staying aggressive onto Feloria. Feloria caught into that full bash. He's going to go ahead and sit through it, not using his Trinket just yet because he knows that he has his Blessing, or excuse me, his Divine Shield available if he needs it. Actually choosing to use his Avenging Wrath and his Execution Sentence to top himself off. Wallabear still in some trouble though, gets kind of low there, forcing Absurge to use his Spirit Link. He'll have another one available in 10 seconds, but is it going to be up in time? Absurge caught into that full Fist of Justice. Wallabear just having to kite away. He has no Survival Instincts available, tries to get out of Cyclone, but gets interrupted on it. But Absurge is finally out of all that CC and able to get a couple of heals out, and now it's Wallabear's turn to get aggressive.
Yeah, Dota actually using that Dark Soul as well. Right now, Tree is in a lot of trouble. Feloria does have bubble available. We might have to use it to actually get out those casts. Spamming out those heals right now. Doesn't look like Splyce has any interrupts for him. So well done by him. But Majidin, I love my dog XO, still taking so much damage. And once again, Majidin does not have Ice Blocks. If his HP goes down to 0, he's just going to die. All he has is that 3-second Evanesce, which he's using aggressively. Down to 10% HP. The Bob comes out, but is it going to be enough? Damage coming in from Dota. The Drained Soul comes in and actually takes down Majidin. He just had no defensive cooldowns like we were talking about. Now, because of that, Splyce is going to go up 2-0 in the series, just 1 away.
Is that Splyce might not really know what to expect, but that'll only work for one game.
Yeah.
If they just sort of catch them by surprise and go, oh, we had no idea you were just going to kill Wallabear. I don't know why they would never expect that, but if that was, hypothetically speaking, what were to happen, then in the next game, which will be Splyce's map pick and Splyce's counter comp pick, they'll know that's coming. So anyway, we're seeing them moving in here, trying to find a good target. They get the sap onto Dota and the kidney shot onto Absurge. Looks like they're going to try to go onto Absurge right out the gate. No major cooldowns used that. As soon as I say that, though, I love my dog is using his Ascendance, using his Ancestral Guidance as well, just to keep his team aggressive. And they've actually managed to force out a Trinket Spirit Link from Absurge already in this opener.
That was a lot of offensive cooldowns coming out from Major Generic, as well as I Love My Dog. Red buff Killing Spree still available for Major Generic, so they can get Absurge into a kidney shot and they can both connect. But right now, Tree is falling apart a little bit. Feloria using that Avenging Wrath as well as that Execution Sentence, going to re-stabilize his team. Dota using that Dark Soul, trying to get aggressive. Once Feloria's wings fades, I think it's going to be very scary for them. But Absurge caught into the full kidney shot. This could be the game. A lot of damage coming in from Tree. Absurge needs to get away, and it looks like he's going to be able to. Dota and Wallabear doing excellent job healing there. I Love My Dog caught into the full Cyclone. He has no Trinket available, but still relentless onto Absurge. Finally LOSs, gets that healing surge off, and he's going to be completely fine. Now Feloria caught into the full bash, using that bubble. Smoke Bomb coming out a little bit defensive. The Killing Spree going out onto Wallabear. Looks like Absurge actually having to use his second Spirit Link there. He didn't have too much healing to deal with that. Absurge getting swapped to once again, the Garrote going out onto him, but I don't think that Tree has the damage to seal out the game at this point, and it looks like they're just falling apart. Valoria down to 10% HP. He has really nothing left, no healing available. Majorden is going to go down, but I mean, yeah, Splyce is going to take that 3-0, but that was probably one of the closer games that Tree had.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that was definitely worth the shot.
Yeah, even though it was a quick win from Splyce, it was the